Hello, and welcome to the Learning Support Services Workshop, Test and Exam Preparation. My name is Kelty, and I'm a fourth-year psychology student. I just want to say thank you for logging in and viewing this workshop online. I hope that you find it informative and helpful. First, I'll give you an idea of what we're going to cover today. In this workshop, I'll talk about exam preparation, including understanding exams, exam preparation tips, managing exam anxiety, and some resources for support during exam time. Please take a moment to think about an exam that you've written in the past. Was it a positive or negative experience? Does it bring up figures of stress or anxiety? Exams are often quite stressful for students, and learning how to prepare effectively is the best way to minimize this stress while earning the highest possible grade. Before we get started, you should have already printed the Stop, Start, Continue handout, which was posted as a PDF on the home page. If you don't have this printed, please stop the workshop and do so. Restart when you have the sheet in hand and a pen. You need this handout because your task throughout the workshop is to see if you can pick out things that you're currently doing that may be inhibiting your success. These go in the stop box. You should also be listening for things that you're doing well. These go in the continue box. And then you need to listen for things that you want to start doing. Try and find at least 2 or 3 of the tips or strategies that I'll present today and then put them in the start box. By writing down the behaviors or strategies that you want to change, you're creating a plan for yourself and will already be one step closer to becoming a better student. At the end of the workshop, you'll have time to review what you've put down and think about when you can start implementing these changes. So let's get started. Understanding why professors use tests and exams is important before we can talk about how to perform well on exams. Some things to keep in mind about exams that may help you realize that they're just a normal part of the university experience are: exams are only one of the ways that professors assess your level of understanding of the course content. Often, if you invest your time and attention in the course material and do your work on an ongoing basis, you should have no problems understanding the material, and in turn, you have an improved chance to do well on the exam, with the right exam writing tips, of course. Also, exams are a regular part of the university experience. Everyone has to write them. It is important to know that there is support and resources to help you make it through the preparation stages. Another thing to keep in mind is that professors don't write exams intending to be malicious. Most professors really do want their students to earn A's. So, think of the exams as opportunities, not challenges. Exams are your time to shine, show your knowledge, and earn a good grade. With these points in mind, there are a couple of skill sets that you can use to ensure that you get the best grade you possibly can. The first is adequate preparation and study skills, and the second is exam writing strategies. So let's move along and discuss some exam preparation tips. The first is to avoid cramming. Begin with a plan, develop a schedule, spread out your studying, and understand the material rather than just memorizing it. Remember, planning ahead will save you time and stress. In my second year, I had 4 exams in the same week, so I began studying for my exams a few weeks in advance to ensure I had enough time to review for all of my tests. The next is to stick to a routine. Make a daily schedule by setting aside time each day for studying and take short breaks in between. Staying healthy is very important. Sleeping regularly, eating properly, and exercising can boost your energy and make it easier to concentrate on the materials as you study. Some other tips are: know what to expect. Attend lectures regularly, take notes, and ask questions. Be sure to pay close attention to professors during class, as I've found they often give hints of what to expect on the exam. If you need any clarification, try to get help from professors, teaching assistants, and even your classmates. The next tip is to arrive early. Account for any potential delays so that you can arrive reasonably early for your exam. This allows you to double-check or review the material, calm your nerves, and prepare mentally before entering the exam room. You should also try to focus on the present. Learn from your previous mistakes, but don't let yourself think they will happen again. Don't let yourself become overwhelmed by your long-term goals. Focus on what you can control and what you can do right now. I once had a really challenging multiple choice exam, but I didn't let it influence my thoughts going into other multiple choice exams. You should also stay calm and collected. Eliminate the negative thoughts and have realistic expectations. Don't be too hard on yourself, and keep in mind all of the work that you've done throughout the term. Look for things to improve on. Exams are a learning experience. It can be helpful to look over previous assignments or tests to see where you lost marks, or check to see what feedback your professors had for you. This is especially helpful for essay exams. Now let's talk about dealing with exam anxiety. What is exam anxiety? Exam anxiety is when a student gets so nervous before or during the exam that there is a physiological stress response. For the most part, this anxiety is not always negative. It may produce adrenaline, and when positively directed, can actually enhance exam performance. It's only when this adrenaline is directed negatively that it can become an issue and limit academic success. There are several indicators of exam anxiety in that the anxiety can present itself in 3 ways. First, physical effect: trembling, sweating, increased heart rate, nausea, muscle tension, and so on. These symptoms occur due to an increase in adrenaline, which your body is burning. This adrenaline doesn't have to interfere with your testing ability. It can actually enhance your awareness of the material on the exam. Second, mental or psychological effects. Going blank, racing thoughts, and feelings of loss of control are all feelings of uneasiness and apprehension that can interfere with your ability to do well on an exam. And 3, emotional effects: wanting to cry, laughing in excess, or feeling angry. So, it's easy to see how these can possibly prevent you from achieving your maximum potential when writing an exam. You'll notice that you can feel nervous about exams, but that doesn't always lead to anxiety. Can you think of a time that you experienced exam anxiety? Let's quickly assess how anxious you really are about exams. Answer yes or no to these 5 questions. 1. Do you generally know the material well enough when you take an exam? 2. Do you get so anxious during exams that your concentration suffers? 3. Do you go blank and find yourself unable to recall material you know? 4. Do you work so fast that you make silly mistakes or misread questions? And 5. Does anxiety often interfere with your performance so much that your grade does not reflect how well you really know the material? So, how did you score? If you answered no to number 1, you probably don't suffer exam anxiety. The anxiety you feel is realistic. You may not be studying enough, or maybe you don't truly understand the material being tested. If you answered yes to number 1 and no to the rest of the questions, you likely don't have exam anxiety since you haven't noticed any symptoms. If you answered yes to number 1 and yes to any other questions, you may have exam anxiety. You may want to consider scheduling an appointment with Health and Counseling Services to discuss the anxiety you're experiencing and some options that might be available to you. You could also attend their free workshop series on managing anxiety. Regardless of the level of stress or anxiety you experience during exams, here are some practical tips that students may find useful in decreasing stress levels. Know the material. Ensure that you've reviewed for the exam and understand all of the course content. Get enough sleep. Don't stay up the night before the exam cramming. Make sure you're still following your regular sleep schedule so you feel rested. Avoid caffeine. Too much will just lead you to crash. Slow down. Keep everything in perspective. Don't grade yourself. Accept that you may not know every answer. Do the easiest questions first and save the hardest for last. Read directions carefully and only answer the questions you're required to. Use positive self-talk like, "You can do it." Avoid distractions. Block out people tapping pens or the proctors walking down the aisles. And use your resources. Find a good place to study, use all of your course materials, create a study group, and be sure to stick to your study schedule. The main goal is to control what you can control and not to worry about what is out of your control. Focus on studying and use these strategies to learn the course content instead of worrying about what you will do on your exam. Next, let's talk about the different services on campus with staff available to help you through exams if you're struggling. They are Health and Counseling Services, located at 2600 Carleton Technology and Training Center. They provide medical certificates if you're sick and counseling services if you're experiencing anxiety. Also, the Paul Menton Center for Students with Disabilities provides accommodations such as additional time or alternate writing locations. They're located at 500 University Center. For students with documented disabilities, accommodations are made in advance, so if you have a disability, you should meet with the PMC as soon as possible. Next, the Student Academic Success Center, also known as SASC, provides academic advice about how final grades may impact your academic standing and progress. You can also find out information about repeating a course. They're located in room 302 of Torrey Building. Learning Support Services offers a variety of study skills workshops and also is where you go for study rooms and finding tutor referrals. All those applications are processed through My Success on Carleton Central. They're located on the 4th floor of the library. A few more resources include writing tutorial services. Tutors here can help you review written assignments and provide information about essay structure. This service is also located at 4th floor library. Some courses also have peer-assisted study sessions, which provide mock exams and review sessions. To find out which courses have pass sections, please go to carleton.ca/pass. And finally, the Registrar's Office, located in 300 Torrey Building. If you need to reschedule an exam due to exam conflicts, or apply for an exam deferral because of medical or extenuating circumstances, this is where you can go. Now that you're ready to write your exams, it's important that you know when and where they are. You can find out this information through Carleton Central, below the heading Student Records and Registration. There's a link called My Exam Schedule, which gets updated for you every term. Please remember that you can have exams rescheduled if, and only if, a conflict, which is 2 exams scheduled for the same time, or an overload, which is 3 or more exams scheduled in 3 consecutive periods, 4 or more exams scheduled in 5 consecutive periods, or 5 or more exams scheduled in 7 consecutive periods. If this happens to you, there's no need to stress out, just contact Exam Services. They can help you move your schedule around. So that's all the information I have to cover today. To summarize, we covered understanding exams, tips for exam preparation, ways to manage exam anxiety, and resources for support during exams. I hope that you feel more comfortable and confident preparing for your exams. Now that we've covered the material from the workshop, please take a couple of minutes to review what you put down on your Start, Stop, Continue page. What are the things you need to stop doing? These are things that maybe are hindering your abilities. What are the things that you need to continue doing? These should be things that you're doing well and enable you to achieve your potential. And lastly, what are the things that you want to start doing? These should be new skills or strategies that you can implement. For these items, I would ask that you take a minute to write down when you're actually going to start doing them. Today? Tomorrow? Remember, the sooner you implement these new strategies and skills, the better. I would also encourage you to come into LSS to attend one of our other workshops in person. We offer a wide variety of topics to meet any student's needs. Workshops are available at varying times throughout the week, including evenings. To see the full schedule, please use the My Success link on Carleton Central and select LSS Workshops. Please note that while you're encouraged to register in advance, it's not required. As an added incentive, if you attend 5 or more in-person study skill workshops, you will earn your Skills for Academic Success certificate, which can then be recorded on your co-curricular record. And if you're looking for more personalized support to develop your study skills, I would like to offer you the opportunity to sign up for a one-on-one study skills appointment. Appointments are 45 minutes long, and you can talk with a study skills specialist about one of the following topics: time management, procrastination, academic reading and note-taking, exam preparation, memory and concentration, listening and note-taking, and learning styles. To schedule an appointment with a study skills specialist, you need to go to the LSS Help Desk on the 4th floor of the McCodrum Library. Finally, if you'd like to receive these slides for this workshop, please send an email from your Connect email account to learningsupport@carleton.ca requesting them. Thanks! I wish you all the best on your upcoming exams.